So just got to know that there is a snake. So let's see what I can do or if I can do something. गोनी लगेगा. हाँ. बकेट गोनी सब लगता है. किधर है? ये मैं कब से बोल ही रहा है. कोई सुनो मत मेरा बात कि इधर सामान मत रखो. क्या बड़ा है छोटा है? छोटा ही है. अरे छोटा है तो फिर क्यों इतना डर रहे हो? एक ये है छोटा, वही कल के जैसा है. हाँ तो वो छोटा ही है ना. Shri Matre Namah. So we are heading for a rescue today. This is Harish and me. We have received a call from someone regarding a dog, and so we are on the way. So we are just taking some medicines. We'll try and show you briefly what we are taking. So these are some of the things that we are carrying with us. These are some emergency medicines which are required in case of some absolute crash that the animal is facing. These are medicines for dressing and for a wound treatment. These are the medicines that we are using, and this box has the medicines for our regular injections and any antibiotics or anything like that. So these are the injections and those are our syringes and all the other things. So let's see, we are heading out now. Saline का डब्बा उधर है. We are heading out with all these medicines. खाना ले लो, pouch. So we are getting into this ambulance for now, and we will go and see what happens. So we are heading out, and let's see. First and foremost would be to find the dog and then understand what is happening. So we normally don't do rescue operations in this area, but if people need help and there is no help here. So we haven't started yet. So let's see how this goes. ये इसके ही बच्चे हैं क्या?
ये खाली वाइट वाला.
हाँ, वाइट वाला. और वो
बाहर से आया.
और ये कब से ऐसा?
ये कल से हो गए, सुबह से.
उसको कोई डॉग ने काटा है?
ऐसा मतलब वो क्या है, वो दूसरा कुत्ती है, बाहर से आती है, वो उसका झगड़ा होता है.
अरे ग्लव्स पहनो प्लीज. और इसको
नहीं खा पाती है. इन लोगों को थोड़ा दूर हटाओ.
उनको थोड़ा दूर लो. वो खाना हो जरा उनको.
ये थोड़ा खाना ले लीजिए.
मेरे को भी एक ग्लव्स दो. रुको, हाँ पूरा मत डालो, फिर बाद में हाँ नहीं दे दो लेकिन. So sadly there was a case of suspected rabies, and we could not get the dog in our hand because there was just too much space for the dog to run away, and so we're going to see if it is possible for us to come back. We've told them to call us when the dog comes out, and then we'll try to come again. So guys, sadly that was a fail. We went to the location and we saw the dog, and she didn't look in a good condition. The rural areas, one of the things is that it's simply like a huge area, So there was some area where the dog could just run out, and she ran out from there, and then she didn't come in the hand. So we told the people to give us a call, but sadly that she has a kind of like a tongue paralysis and mouth paralysis, it looks like, and it's been there since yesterday, and also her neck area is also bent. So while she wanted to eat food, it was clear that she could not because she was paralyzed. So it very well could be rabies. So that's the sad part now. I am also, so because in these areas there is no quarantine facility or anything. Barely there is facility in Thane city where we work. After so many years, there is facility to at least quarantine an animal which is suspected rabies. So I'll talk to you all a little bit about rabies. So rabies is a zoonotic disease. Zoonotic diseases are diseases which can be transmitted from animals to human beings. So there are a huge number of zoonotic diseases, but one of the most common ones is rabies, because I guess it's a lot because we are very much in contact with dogs, and dogs, cats. Actually, it's not just dogs who can give us rabies. Cats, any animal which has rabies can transmit the disease to humans as well. So that's the thing, right? So it's one of the diseases which does not have a cure. So that is why it's a highly feared disease. Now, there are diseases such as leptospirosis, or there are many diseases, which can be transmitted, but many of them do have cures or have proper treatment. But rabies is sadly a disease which does not have a cure, and that makes it extremely deadly. So this is why even stray dogs are targeted a lot, because stray dogs live very close proximity to us, and they can get rabies, and rabies can come to us. But the thing about rabies is it's a highly preventable disease. So the only thing which you need to do is take a vaccine, or give the vaccine to the animal, and it won't get rabies. So sadly, but now in cases like in rural areas, like in this situation where the mother dog may have, but again it's a suspected rabies. You can never be sure that someone has rabies until after the death, because it's only after that you can take out a brain tissue and do the investigation to make sure that the animal or the human has rabies. So this is the situation. And now with cases like in rural areas like ours, the quarantine facility is not available, and being a highly communicable disease, so rabies does not spread through touch or through any other means other than through saliva. So a dog with rabies can easily, if the saliva comes in contact with a wound, or with any part we kind of somehow ingest it, or anyone does, there is a good possibility that we could get the infection. So this is something that we need to be very careful about when we are dealing with animals. So the best thing to do would be to get yourself vaccinated. In case you are a rescuer or an animal lover watching this video, make sure to get your vaccine for rabies on a regular basis, so that even if you are dealing with animals with rabies, you will not have any issues. Now the next thing is that rabies can be normally found in two forms. That is, one is a dumb form or mute form, and one is an active form. Now active form is the most popular one. Everyone says kutta pagal ho gaya hai. So this is a very cliche statement. Rabies is equated to dog going mad normally, and in that what happens is that the dog starts to bite everyone, and it's like a whole attack where one dog has bitten some 15 dogs, and some 10 people. So this is when the people become very angry towards the animal and they tend to kill that animal, sadly, because rabies does not have a cure, as I said. So eventually what happens is, even if you quarantine that animal, because the animal cannot really eat anything or drink anything, if it is in the active form, it is a neurological disease, so it affects your nervous system and it shuts down your spine gradually. So what happens in that situation is that everything in your body, all your systems start to shut down. So gradually the animal or the human or whoever has rabies will just shut down, and then they will eventually just die. So normally the death happens within 7 days time, 7 days, sometimes 10 days, sometimes a little more also. So if there is a case of suspected rabies, always the quarantine period for that is 10 to 15 days, sometimes 2 weeks also. Some places practice that. Now the dog that we saw in this video where we had gone for the rescue is a mute form of rabies. So mute form is more difficult to identify. What happens, again, it's a suspected rabies. It could very well have an injury inside the mouth, which I'm determined to go and check that dog tomorrow. I'm going to call them and see if that dog is there close by or anything. Because if it's an injury and because nobody checked that injury and nobody actually gave any treatment to that poor dog, because of that, if the dog dies, then that's just unfair to the dog. So we're going to try and check that dog again tomorrow. So when it comes to mute form of rabies, the dog is like friendly. You saw the exact symptoms, the behavior of the dog right now. The dog, it looked like a normal dog, only thing it had its tongue outside and it had a paralysis, jaw paralysis, as well as the neck was also slightly paralyzed. It was like that, it couldn't move properly. So now it's really hard to say in mute cases or in non-active forms whether it is actually rabies, because as I said, there is no way to know for sure. So the next thing that we will have to do is vaccinate those pups and those other dogs also in the area, because they have been in contact with that dog as well. So we will have to vaccinate as well, which we are planning to do tomorrow anyways. We will, if we are able to catch that dog, we will vaccinate her as well. We have tried to get in touch with a local doctor who does sterilizations, etc. in this area. Let's see if we get some kind of positive response for quarantine. Firstly, the dog has to come in hand, so let's see about that. So we are not sure at this moment where to quarantine that dog, because we do not have a quarantine facility, and with so many vulnerable animals everywhere, it's very, very dangerous if we also keep the rabies case. So if you have any doubts or questions about rabies, please feel free to reach out, because I can answer those questions. I used to take sessions for children in the BMC schools for many years regarding rabies, because rabies is a disease which a lot of people are very scared of, and it's also there everywhere because a huge number of dogs are not vaccinated. Though a lot of organizations, the municipalities, governments, everyone is trying to vaccinate animals, there is no 100% eradication of rabies possible unless and until you are able to vaccinate 100% of the population. So that is still yet to happen. So at this time, I'm sure a lot of people are trying to make that happen, and I hope that I can also start vaccinating the animals in this area so that we can actually do something about the rabies situation. So if you have any questions, reach out to me, drop a message in the comments. I'll answer that. So thank you for watching. Shri Matre Namaha. And I hope that dog actually does not have rabies, and she has some other small problem which we can solve tomorrow. So please pray for her.